Hello, activated and loving life subscribers, and any of you that are drawn to this message today. We are devoted to talking about activation through our nutraceuticals, our nootropics, through biohacking. All words, if you don't understand, go on and research them. There's nothing wrong with you going down the rabbit hole. So today I am interviewing a lady named Teressa. How are you today, Teressa?
I'm good. Good.
So Teressa, how did you hear or start your activation journey?
Okay, that was, you know what? We're going on almost close to 2 years. I think you introduced me in March 2 years ago. Actually, I think I started in March, so I would have been introduced in February. I've been to a couple of your activated and loving life get-togethers back then, and just the information you were able to share with us, and even your own story when you shared your own story. I knew it was something that I wanted to be on, mostly because it's all the natural-based products, and I'm a big believer in natural over pharmaceuticals. I have been on prescription medication before for different reasons. Years ago, depression, other times for stomach, and I've never been a really big believer in the products that I was on. Not only that, I think when you take some of that kind of stuff, the side effects, there's just too many side effects, and I didn't really want to be dealing with that. So I was looking for something that was natural based, that would just help with my health, my immunity, and my overall well-being.
And so what products are you on?
Okay. Every day I do the NRF2, and I also do the NRF1. I do ProBio twice a day, mostly because my stomach, I do have issues kind of with my stomach. I have a very sensitive stomach. And I do find, since I've upped my bio, because for the first year, actually for the first almost year and a half, it was doing okay, but I was still running into some of the stomach issues that I was running into. So now that I take it twice a day, I'm finding those have eased up even a little bit more. So it's just the combination that works well for me, taking it twice a day. And then I also, so those are the products that I take orally. And then I also use a lot of the skincare products. I use the face wash. I use the lotion. I don't need the lotion in the summer, but I have found that I've gone back to it in the winter time, just with how dry we are in Alberta. I also use the hair care, which I love. And yeah, my hair is so healthy, and I don't have to wash it as much as I was washing with other shampoos and conditioners. Like, I can go 2 days and my hair is it's still clean looking, it's still refreshed, and yeah, I love all the products that I've been using and stuff. I'm pretty happy.
That's so good to hear. What lotion is it? The perfecting lotion, which is the serum looking, or is it the anti-aging lotion, or the hand lotion? What is it that you use?
Okay, so I use the face wash, so the number 1. I also use the number 2, which I do believe is the perfecting lotion. And then I use, is it 3 or is it 4? The lotion, the actual facial cream.
The anti-aging lotion, yeah.
Yeah.
I find that, and the perfecting lotion, which I don't understand why they call it lotion, because it's clear. So to any of us from the beauty industry, you think serum. But yeah, I find those two alone are just so phenomenal for the skin. I know I had severe décolleté damage from when I went to Mexico with a bunch of girlfriends on my 30th, sitting out drinking a little too much in the sun. And it didn't matter what procedure I did, even expensive $2,000 procedures through dermatologists, nothing reverted my skin back until I went on the perfecting lotion with the anti-aging. And it wasn't even 3 months. And it was like, my skin evened out. I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed the perfecting lotion or serum. I use it a lot. Like, I use it twice a day. It's on my face and on my neck twice a day. I do use it in the summertime if I get sunburn or if I've had too much sun, and I find it takes the heat and the sting out right away. I've used it on mosquito bites. I get eczema in the crook of my arm. As soon as I put that on, it's usually cleared up in a couple days. Like I use it if I have, actually even those little tiny skin tags that we might get from the rubbing or the friction of our bra, I find I can even put it on those, and if they're the small ones, I find it eases those off right away too. Like they just seem to disappear again. So
I agree. It's, the only, like, it's Nerf 2 activated. And so that's the difference between any kind of products out there. And that's why they're patented. And yeah, I spent hundreds and thousands on expensive stuff, and they don't touch this stuff. Like they honestly don't. I remember when I first started, I had realized because Nerf 2 activates the body, our skin is our massive organ, and I must have had a lot of oxidative stress around my lips. And I had been a hairdresser for years. And so all the chemicals, the cuts from scissors, scars, all that, I couldn't believe how it just turned to a scab and came off. And I have less scars on my body now. And it was because it's oxidation. So when you see it on the outside of you, because many of us don't feel it on the inside, although I do, but to see it on the outside is phenomenal.
Yeah, I've actually cut the top of my finger about 2 weeks ago, and in under a couple days, just by putting perfecting lotion on it, it healed really quick and started healing a lot faster than it would have if I didn't put anything on. I do also use it if I have any blemishes or anything. It's just, I'll treat those separately plus do my face, and then I find they just go so much faster and stuff. So yeah, I've really enjoyed the skin products, and I feel great with taking everything in too.
Right. And so your activation journey, tell me what happened within your activation journey. So tell us about how you had gotten into fasting, like the whole journey, and how this worked part and parcel with your fasting and all that as well as part of another avenue of your tool belt.
Yeah, I started fasting probably before I got onto the activation. I think I started it probably 6 months before, not even. I was doing what would have been considered prolonged. I don't anymore. I don't have any need to anymore. If I do fast, it's usually 24 to 36 hours. It's usually about a day, day and a half. And I wouldn't say it would be what people would consider a true, because I'm on the product. I try to drink a tea that's half milk, half water kind of thing, just for I can, when I'm taking the product, that it's easier to digest and it's in the system quicker. You know what, with the fasting, it definitely helps because my energy is always up. Like even on the days that if I do a fast, I don't do them as often anymore. When I do them though, my energy is not affected whatsoever. Like I've kind of learned to read my body, I guess, like through this journey, whether it was fasting or even with the activation. And I kind of listen to what my body needs. So even if I'm doing a fast and I'm not feeling right, then I know it's time that I need to get some food and some nourishment in. And that's just being in tuned a little bit more too, right? And listening to what our bodies are trying to tell us. The activating part of it has definitely, I just feel good. Like I think some people, if they were to do fasting, and then, as I said, I've listened and I've learned how to work the rhythm and the patterns that I need to do. But with fasting, I think people would probably find their energy levels are lower and stuff. Whereas I don't find that anymore. And actually, yeah, it's been a long time since I've done a longer one, but my weight has maintained. Like I truly, if I don't jump up, I'm not this ping pong ball anymore. I maintain my weight pretty well being on the product. Also, it's helped with allergies and my food intake. So realized that, was it last summer? Yeah, because I've gone through 2 summers now being activated. And the fresh produce that we would always go to Karamias in BC. If anybody knows, they're a wonderful place for fresh produce. Haven't been able to eat peaches or cherries since I was a kid. Since I've been activating, I can now enjoy a fresh peach and fresh cherries. I used to get itchy throat. Sometimes I would even get a couple hives around my face if I was to touch them or even touch with my face after handling the product too. And now I've gone 2 summers now where I've enjoyed all the produce that I haven't been able to enjoy in years. So that was probably really exciting for me because nothing's better than eating a fresh fruit that's even right off the orchard. So I was pretty excited when those changes happened for sure. And I do find it's even because certain nuts, I was the same way. So any of my food sensitivities I found, and I still find they're even improving. Even after 2 years, I still find they're improving. The only reaction I sometimes get would be dust. And that's just if I'm doing a lot of work outside or and it's dry, like if it's really dry, or if I'm house cleaning. But they're so slight to what they used to be. They used to stop me in my tracks. I would be on eye drops. I would be on throat stuff because I would be affected, especially in the spring, really bad. This spring, I had a little bit of a runny nose and that was it. And it was very minimal. Like I didn't have to carry Kleenex around, which was a bonus. So.
Well, and isn't it amazing? I think the greatest thing that I can say to anyone activating is it's a lifelong journey. We didn't have oxidative layers of stress happen overnight. It takes time, and this product takes time. And even though we notice results happening and that energy and that great sleep and that focus and that calmness with the energy, like that maintained, I love that part of it. But yeah, the longer I've been doing it, the more I notice changes still happening within my body, because the body's still trying to go through an aging process, but it really is slowing down. Like when we are actively keeping at least 40% less oxidative stress within our bodies, and it's phenomenal what it's doing. And what I have realized is when we activate the body knows exactly what it needs to do, and it's trusting the body. And so many customers or clients of mine have said, oh my gosh, I have so many pains in my right hip right now, or in my thumbs, or I have a bladder infection coming on, and it's realizing the body knows where it goes, and it usually starts at the weakest area first. And then it works to the next layer, to the next layer, to the next layer. So you know that when you're feeling kind of pings and pangs, it's like, now that part of my area is activating. And I think that's probably the coolest part that I can say to people is just trusting and allowing. Your body knows exactly what to do when there's no hijacking in the way. And you don't realize the issues you had because you thought they were normal. And it was part of a normal aging process. That was me. I didn't have any kind of dis-eases or discomforts really that I thought until like I started the ProBio and realized, so that's what a calm stomach feels like. My whole life has always had a very loud talking stomach. And I remember as a hairdresser, when I was a hairdresser, it was your stomach is so close to a person's head when they're in the shampoo bowl. And I remember so many people laughing because it would just be talking and chatting away. And now it's like, it's quiet, right? And then it's like, oh, I used to have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and that stopped. And when I went to get up, I remember the pain that I had in my feet, in the palms of my feet and my ankles, in that kind of area. And so I would have to slowly get up and slowly walk to the bathroom. And now I'm just like on a dime doing my thing. And it's funny, you look back of where you were only to see how far you've come. And you're like, wow, I didn't realize like how tired I was all the time, the exhaustion that I had that I thought was normal. And again, what we're saying, so Teressa, for instance, what she takes, you take 1 NRF2 a day and your 2 NRF1s, and then you take 2 ProBio, correct, for your intakes?
I do 3 in the morning, and then I do it again at night.
Your 3 probios. Yeah. But you take just one. What's that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. You're cutting in and out. Can you see
it froze up, I think.
Yeah. You keep freezing up quite a bit.
I can see you.
Yeah. I can see you. You've been time released the whole time that we're on the interview. So your internet's probably just a little lacking from all the kids that are home from school and playing video games. But yeah, what we want to bring up in this interview is Teressa figured out how her body works and what her body needs. And so normally you only need to have 1 NRF2 per day and 2 of the NRF1s. That's why there's 30 capsules of NRF2 in your bottle because it's a month's supply. And there are 60 capsules in your NRF1s. And then there are 90 capsules in your ProBio because you're supposed to take 3 once a day. But people who have severe gut issues or have had trouble absorbing because you've never produced enough of that biome. And normally it's because you've had a lot of nerves, you've had that nervousness, and it becomes this double-edged sword of a paradox. Is did my nervousness start, or is it because I had lack of nutrients that I became nervous? And so that's part of the process. So the moment that you doubled up on that, you started realizing, and I have that happen. If I know that my immunity is feeling a little compromised, I double up as well. But what we mean by doubling up, because these products are specifically tuned in a microdose ratio to do what they do, you cannot take doubled up at the same time. That's why Teressa does her ProBio in the morning and then another set of ProBio at night. And I have some clients that are over 180 pounds that, because the ratio of your mass has everything to do with how your body activates. So we have some clients that are over 180 pounds that they actually take 1.5 or 2 NRF2s a day for them to have full activation where they're feeling it. And I know for me, if I have a 12 to 20 hour day that I'm putting in, I will do 1 hour NRF, 1 NRF2 in the morning, and then I will take a quarter of a second one in the afternoon, because I get so much sustained energy to begin with that if I do even a half of a second one, I this week found out I still won't sleep because I'm still raring to go. And so it needs to only be a quarter, but it's learning what do you need for your needs. And when it's cold and flu season, if you know that you have something coming on, you bet you can play with those, especially to increase that activation process, and ProBio, especially because it is your gut health. So
I have definitely doubled up on NRF2 if I know I'm getting something. You can usually feel that tickling your throat or whatever. And I even have to say that's even like they're almost to the point. It's been over a year since I've had a cold. It's and the last time I had it, it maybe lasted 3 days. And it's because so if I find it coming on, like if I can feel it, I'll double that NRF2 twice a day, once in the morning, once at dinner time usually. And I still sleep for 7 days at least, or until I don't feel the symptoms anymore. But I usually give myself that 7 days to make sure that I've knocked it out of my system. And then I'm able to return to what I was. But usually after 3 days of taking it, I'm feeling way better than and I think like last January was probably the last time I had something, and people around me were sick for a week to 2 weeks, whereas truly I was 3 days and I was back to being able to function and being able to. So it definitely makes a huge impact having that extra boost when you need it.
You bet. And a lot of my customers or clients, and even actually when I didn't realize, so Jillian, one of our fellow colleagues, I interviewed her last week, and she had coronavirus, and she had it, she said, for almost 3 weeks, and it was only because the cough, she has this cough left. But the first few days, and hers was very stomach flu based, and it depends on the area, it seems to transmute. I know in our area around Alberta here, it seems to be more of just a cold, the coronavirus, that seems to affect most people, like a crazy cold with exhaustion to make some pains, compared to like vomiting, flu-like stomach flu symptoms, and Jillian had said the first few days she couldn't hold anything down, so she didn't take any of her products. And then when she doubled up on her NRF1, so she was taking 2 in the morning, 2 at night, because of the quercetin in it, because quercetin, very much so, they've done research on, really, really helps with any kind of cold flu stuff. And then she added the Axio. And because our Axio, our brain food, number one, has like the good Axio, it's all good, but the caffeine based Axio has the DMAE in it, which forms and produces more oxygen, as well as the quercetin. And the Q-CoTan enzyme, all of that is all like getting that blood flowing and opening up that circulatory system. And so she said she instantly had at least 2 to 3 hours a day, that instantly she was gone from the exhaustion to being able to get stuff done. And so it was so great to hear these stories for everyone out there that, you know, if you're wanting to build up your immunity or you're already activating, and grab that onto your tool belt. Like, I know I just ordered some more Axio today. I don't normally take Axio because I get so much energy just off of the activated essentials, which is the Nerf 1, Nerf 2, and the ProBio. But the extra added quercetin, absolutely. Why wouldn't I, if I feel something coming on? It's just having that tool belt. So physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, how do you believe your life has changed since activating, Teressa?
You know what? I am more, and because I do know moods and understand, because I have dealt with being on antidepressants probably over 15 years ago, I guess, is when I came off of them. So I do understand the moods and how my mood's affected by different things. Since activating, way calmer, where I can kind of focus, or I can it gives me that tool to do what I need to do, right? Like, it's that extra tool, whether it's even to do my focusing for when I do my meditation, or just even really grounding and trying to pull myself together. I work with young children, so sometimes, like, energy wise, I don't know how I would do it without probably these products. We're very, very busy, as 3 and 4 year olds are. And it keeps me so much more balanced, not that easy to react, or as a lot of other things. Like, I've been able to implement a lot of other things into my life, and probably alongside the product and stuff, using it. So much better. Happier more than not, right? Like, I'm a lot happier, easygoing, and probably that reaction time, I would have to say, is definitely, and just more in tune, right? I'm more in tune with how I feel. So if I am having an off day or a rough day, because we do all go through that, I'm able to bring myself back to where I need to be. And I'm sure that the product and stuff is one of the reasons I'm able to kind of zone in. I'm able to read those signs of myself better because of the product.
Right. And that's when we look at ourselves in a whole living approach, it has to be a whole living approach. And that's the greatest part. When our bodies are turned on, when they're fired up, they know what to do, and they're sending the right messages where they need to direct. And so instead of getting those false messages from the second brain, your gut, of that anxiousness or nervousness, or, you know, feelings of separation and loss that so many people feel. And that's where addictions come in. And that's where a lot of allergies come from, is not being able to handle the energy of something that you were around, if there was a negative process that happened at the time. And speaking on that, it's really cool how there's a lot of doctors that are in the LifeVantage rep, because they understand how amazing the product is. And some of them actually had minor allergies to turmeric or some of the herbs that are within these products. And because they knew that what they do, they slowly incorporated them into their diet to get your body used to it, to get over the allergy, and then started using it. And so I remember one of the doctors, and I don't remember his name offhand, but I remember he had turned the Nerf 2 into powder and would take little bits of it every day so that until he never reacted anymore. And then he started adding more and more and more so that he could activate, because he knew how important the product was. And I was like, wow, that's devoted. Right. And he knew that in his tool belt of understanding. And so that was what was so great. And so, and it's great that we find that out so we can share it to other people as well.
Yeah.
So do you have anything, and so you're not just a customer, you became a rep as well, Teresa, correct?
I did, yes.
And so what would you say to anyone that is on the fence or just on this because they're supposed to on purpose today that aren't activating it?
You know what would I say to them? You know what? I believe in the product so much. I'm not great with the science side of it, but why wouldn't you want to go on something that makes you feel better? Like, why? And try not to put my bias in about the pharmaceuticals in it. But why wouldn't you want to be on something that's activating and turning on those switches that we've had turned off for so long, or that helps clean out our cells and do what they need to be doing? And energy, yeah, like it's hard to explain because I feel so good. And I know, like, even though it's been 2 years, as I said, I can't imagine myself not being on it anymore. I just can't. Between the energy, the focus, the clarity, but even being in tuned with my body and how it feels, and what it needs, and trusting it. Like that trust has been built, I think, through this 2-year journey that I've been on with these products. And to me, it's like, it's almost like, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to choose something that's natural, that is turning on and activating and is repairing, right? Like repairing what all the oxidative stress that we've been dealing with for the last, for me, it's been over 40 years. I'm going up to that 50-year mark. And just, yeah, there's so many wonderful things that this product, I think, can do for anybody. It doesn't matter whether they're taking our Protandim, our NRF1 or our NRF2 to the skincare. Like the skincare products have so many amazing stories too. I know I have my youngest doing Axio, but we just do the Canadian, so it doesn't have the DMH in it. DME in it. Yeah. But I find just even having those other products in it that you mentioned earlier, that it helps him, like at school, he dealt with a lot of headaches. It's also a way for me to help keep him hydrated because it's something he enjoys drinking, right? And I don't have to worry about what he's drinking. He's not filling up with sugar products or whatever, right? I know he's safe using those products too. So yeah, it's an amazing product. Doesn't matter. It seems to be whether it's skincare or the NRF1 and NRF2. I think they're all amazing. And I think we froze again, Tracy. Is that me again? Oh, come on. We really froze. Makes me wonder what we're recording. Oh, good. I'm here. Oh, have to love technology. Okay. Where is she? Do. What happened? Okay, well, I am going to